Turn the volume up, let the truth slide in. From the block to the ballot, we talk how we live it. Sports, politics, culture in the same lane. Two voices, one mic, no watered down game. It's the Unk Phew podcast, where wisdom meets the way.
Hold up, nephew.
Make sure to lock the doors. Once I get my hands on her, I'm a Natalie, she ran away with all my money, and she did it for fun. Natalie, she's probably out there thinking it's funny, telling everyone.
All right, man. I gotta stop playing that before we get in trouble. Bruno Mars, we ain't got no money, so don't come after us. The song was for a purpose. Before we get into that, welcome back to the Unk Phew podcast. I'm Uncle Chris. We're your hosts.
I'm Malcolm, a.k.a. Neff. What's going on? Uncle, what song was that? I don't think I heard that one.
That was that was Bruno Mars, Natalie.
Oh, why you play that?
All the controversy. You ain't heard about the controversy that's been going on?
Oh yeah.
This past week with your boy John Ossoff set off some controversy on the Trump team. He actually only all he did was said her name, and they lost their damn minds over there at the White House.
The internet ran with it. You know how the internet is.
You know what I think though?
You said they lost their mind at the White House. Tell me about that.
All right, so John Ossoff was at a campaign rally in Georgia, I guess over last weekend, and he talked about, he was talking about Trump not doing a good job running the country, all that kind of stuff, and then all he's concerned about is this and that, and making money, whatever, and flying around on his plane, his gifted plane by the Qataris with Natalie. And then he just kept going. He didn't really stop to explain who Natalie was. He did that shit on purpose. He dropped that gem so everybody else would be like, well, who the fuck is Natalie? So then, instead of just laying it to rest, not even saying a word, the Trump administration lost their shit. Start calling him John Jackoff and all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Hey, you got to give it to them. They know the name. They
got the names over there. Don't fuck with Trump and them. They got the names.
They got the names.
They be quick with it too.
John Jackoff is diabolical.
John Jackoff. John Ossoff. John Jackoff. Anyway,
so that must have struck a nerve because that must have struck a nerve over there.
Well, it did because she's his most loyal aide apparently, but nobody knew who she was. I mean, people at the White House knew who she was, but nobody in mainstream media or nobody knew who she was. But she is the person who prints out all his daily briefings and brings them to him. But the controversy is, first things first, is she doesn't bring him what's actually happening. She only brings him positive information, so he doesn't get to read anything negative.
Is that why? Like during the war, he's like, "Oh, we're killing everything," and everybody's like, "What are you watching?" yeah, that. And then so that's one thing. So he doesn't get accurate information about what's really happening in the country. You know what I mean? What he does get shows him, like his poll numbers are up and high on some like questionable polling outlets, not real polling. Everything that she shows him is basically doctored shit, right? Yeah,
but
that's dangerous.
But the real controversy is, I guess apparently there are staffers also close enough to the president, maybe other aides, that have a problem with old girl. And the reason being is she writes letters to him. She writes letters to Trump, and I guess somebody, one of his other staffers, or maybe multiple, have leaked those letters to the media. And these letters that's where the questionable, real serious questionable part comes in. Like, they basically are explaining it like she's his security blanket. I heard Abby Phillips on CNN. Somebody called him like he's, not Abby Phillips, but somebody that was on on her show said she's like a binky to him. Like a binky is to a baby. She's like a binky to Trump. And some of the stuff
like what does that, like what do they mean by that?
Just like like basically he can't live without her. You know how a baby needs their pacifier?
Oh,
Yeah.
So this is the one he snuck on the other plane.
Right. So I was getting to that. So check it out. Hold on.
okay,
Hold on.
sorry.
So first thing is there's some stuff about how, just letters about how loyal she is. And one of the letters she talks about how, you know, if she does a bad job, he has the right to correct her, even cuss her out. And I'm paraphrasing, but even cuss her out because I think she says, because you're the only one that knows me and cares for me and knows me or something like that, right? And then now let's flip to the plane situation where he snuck off the plane. He snuck off the plane. That's still some wild shit. Every time I think of it, this nigga said, not me.
He said they didn't say it to me.
Not
He said it to
today. So he stuck off the plane because he heard that Iranians were going to target it and blow it up once it left Turkey.
Right.
So he snuck off the plane, got onto the other plane through the food cart, and he only took 2 people with him. Pete, what is it, Hegseth?
Yeah.
Kegseth or whatever. Pete
bro.
Kegseth and Natalie Harp is her name. He didn't even take Caroline Levitt with him. The one that been lying for him this whole time.
That's why she left. I understand why she left now. I understand because if I'm sitting up here lying for an entire 2 years every day, if I'm lying every day, and you ain't gonna sneak me on the plane,
He ain't sneak him
you
on the
gonna leave
plane.
me to die?
Left her to die. Left all of them to die. Left Marco Rubio to die. Left all the reporters to die. Everybody. Cabinet members. The only one that left was Hegseth and old girl.
That's crazy.
Natalie.
If I'm Marco Rubio, I'm out of here. I would feel away.
Yeah, hell
Trump
yeah.
has no loyalty. Just
Just
okay.
know. They just need to know they are in harm's way at all times, fucking with Trump.
Basically. So I want to know what Melania thinks.
I don't think Melania cares.
You don't think she
I think
cares?
I think Melania ain't even in the White House. I think she in New York, chilling with old Barron while Barron's in school. You know what I mean? She got her a couple billion now. I don't think she gives a fuck, to be honest with you.
You don't think she cares? They not in love? She don't?
Nah. Melania paid, bro. She ain't sweating that shit. She know old girl is just getting a couple of little crumbs, and Melania probably ain't servicing her husband no more. So you know, got to do what he got to do. She like, do what you do. My bank account still better have a B behind them, behind them zeros in there.
Damn, man. This
Better
is
better be enough zeros to add up to a bill. So Melania ain't tripping.
Hey.
And this she is, oh well, you know, she knew what it was. She knew what it was when she got with him. Trump is who Trump is.
I guess.
She knew what it was at the time.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. I just want to know what she thought. Like, hey, you know, it's hitting the news. I haven't
She ain't
heard it.
said nothing.
She ain't said nothing, yeah.
Not a word. Yeah. But yeah, they still tripping over there at the White House. But that's why I played that song, that little snippet of a song.
Okay.
Because
Natalie.
you know. Yeah. So even though we can't play it here because we ain't got the rights and all that stuff, and we don't want to get sued, you need to go listen to it after we're done. But
Bruno, I got
outside of that,
I got a
yeah?
song for you.
gonna play
We
it.
ain't gonna say it. No.
Oh, okay.
Opportunity.
So what else is going on with you? You have a good week?
Yeah, I had a good week. Work was working, doing its thing. I would kind of mainly chilled this week. You know what I mean? Chilled this week. Trying to just rearrange the crib, do some deep cleaning, stuff like that. What about you?
Same, just same old same, maintaining, working, doing what we do. Nice little weekend off away from the job that pays the bills. So It was a little unexpected to not have to, but the weather up here has been super, super windy. So when it's like that, we can't be up there. So just been chilling, getting in place. Huh?
You got an unexpected day off?
Yeah. Right. So it was cool because I always expect to have to try to work on like a Saturday or something. So to have the whole weekend was cool. So just cooling, man. Just make sure to got my laundry done early. Whatever little groceries I need to get for the week, got that taken care of, and got the house, the house like I want to have it. And now I'm here with you.
Yeah, I tried to do that all yesterday. It was a lot. It's all gonna fall to today, so it's gonna be a lot.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to do it yesterday. So today, once we're done doing our thing, man, I might even get back up under the covers and binge watch something the rest of the day.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
I mean, it's a nice enough day I can get out, but we'll see.
My day was my whole process was a little interrupted.
Yeah.
Just a little bit, but
What happened?
they threw out the bat signal and said, "Come outside."
Did you go?
I was already asleep, and they threw
Oh,
out
the other
bat-
night.
Yeah, they threw out the bat signal on me, and I was just like, all right, I'm gonna come out.
We outside.
Yeah, and it was more of a like, just help them
Right.
get home, just help them get home, type stuff. So that was cool, that was fun, but
That's what's up.
I was up all night. I was like, oh, but I did get some sleep, so I slept. I
Got
went to bed at like 9, woke up at like 12. So
Okay.
and then I think you text me like at 5. I was still up. You text me. You were like, you said something, and I text you. I was like, why are you up? And I think I was up for another hour, and then went to sleep for like 2. Got up.
Man, I was up getting my day started. Had to make it happen.
Yeah.
Get up, get out.
So yesterday I was actually in the house, and I was like doing some of the stuff, and then I was getting tired, so I went to lay down, and it was just one of those things. It's like, dang, that little one little going out at midnight messed my whole plan up. So it was good. It was cool. It was chill.
That's what's up. Yeah, man. So, yeah, that whole little thing went down, with Natalie, all that kind of stuff. Just, there's always something going on over there. It's weird. You can get lost in the sauce trying to talk about what these people were on. But one of the things I did kind of want to ask you about is it's on some financial, like, and my algorithm has been wild lately, like, and I didn't ask for it,
Right.
but out of nowhere, I'm starting to get a bunch of things about wealth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Talking about what the wealthiest families in America, did or used to do, and how we're not told about those kind of things.
Right.
So, being that you got that financial background, I'm like, I need to ask nephew about this. You know what I mean? It talks about, opening up a trust and what the waterfall method is and all of that kind of stuff. And so, and it's things that obviously, black folks usually, whether I won't necessarily say it's intentionally kept from us, like, even though I do believe that to some degree, but just our conditions, generational conditions, where we work and we spend, right? One, we're going to take care of the house, right? We got to pay the bills. But outside of that, we like to spend our money, whether it be like nowadays, it's mostly like on experiences and stuff like that. But you're never really taught growing up the financial literacy part and how to save for retirement and all of that. You don't start, most times we don't hear about saving for retirement till we get that first job where they offer you a 401k with a little bit of a match or something like that.
Right.
Whereas some other groups grow up learning this in their households as children, right? Whereas we just like, we're surviving, right? So if we have a little extra, we want to treat ourselves. But what happens is we don't trust that You're somebody, getting in the workforce 21, 22, maybe, especially if you didn't go to college. You don't really have that financial literacy, so you don't trust it. You're like, I need all my coins right now. I can't put, $50 a paycheck, $100 a paycheck to a 401k or something like that, especially something that's tied to the stock market that I could lose at any time.
Right.
I need my change right now. So just talk to me about that. And like I said, I've been seeing it in my algorithm lately, and I just kind of want to get a little better understanding because it's something that I think that we need to start focusing on, especially as a people, where we really need to take this serious. So when we do get to retirement age, if we choose to live in this country, at least after retirement, we can live comfortably.
Right. So one thing I would say is that the education in college, out of college, is probably not there. It's probably a little bit more in college, but even like the key information I learned out of college, and I had an economics degree, right? So I knew how the economy worked and everything that they taught us through that degree. But outside of that, I didn't really learn. My first job, first big boy job, I would say, out of college was working at Vanguard, and they paid us like $30,000 at the time. That was like the going rate of 2011. And I was just happy to have a job. It was, it wasn't a lot of money, right? Like 30,000.
Right.
It's not a lot of money today, but back then it wasn't a lot. But it was doable, right? And I was working within the participant services, mainly 401ks, 403bs. At that time, pensions. They got all the companies since after 2008, that crash, started to get rid of the pension plans en masse and just offered cash, lump sum cash for the people who took it, right? So they can't say totally get rid of it, but they can offer you a sweet offer and shrink down the pension, right? Because it's a liability on the company. If I'm gonna pay you for life until you die, people are living longer with modern medicine and all that. It just made, from a business sense, it made sense for them, right? Yeah. But so that was like 2011, right? We were dealing with the fallout of 2008, and very, very, very choppy waters. I was taking like 100, like we were. All collectively, everybody took at least 100 calls per day, mainly, and that's when I knew the education was like really bad. I had to tell people, like, I know you see you have money here, but you can't do anything with it right now. Like you can't take it. It's not yours yet. You know what I mean? Like with 401ks, if it's your money, it's your money, and they have certain mechanisms you could take out, either withdraw or loan. So we were pretty much servicing a lot of those calls. But there's times where I had to tell people, like, I know you see a balance there, but that's money the company put in for you. You can't touch it yet, so you really don't have the money available to you. that was
that'll touch somebody's psyche though, because they see that money and they need that money, especially after the '08 crisis.
Oh yeah,
they're like, "What you mean I can't touch? That's my bread. It's got my name on it and all of that."
Exactly. And it wasn't. This was like, it wasn't even just like the black people. It was everybody.
Right.
I remember so many times I was like, emotion and money. It's like the spark. It's like a spark that can start a fire, I almost needed a psych degree to kind of deal with some of that stuff, they taught us all about the plans, how to service the calls, but they didn't teach us how to deal with the emotional part, and how do I how do I break logic through an emotional call,
Right. Yeah.
And even like even back then, it was more like, okay, they don't need a withdrawal or nothing. They're not calling for that, but they're calling because they see the market is down and they scared because they didn't lost everything, right? And these are people either closer to retirement or like maybe got 10 years out, right? The ones that's closer to retirement, I could completely understand, like, oh, you see a downturn on a day, like, and to be honest, that first year, that 2011, it was
Right.
the market kind of traded flat, so it'll go like, but it traded like sideways. So every down day, 100 calls. It was really bad. So I had to like realize I got to talk to them a little bit differently. I have to say, so you want to lock in this loss?
You're like, what?
They like, huh? Yeah. So you want to move this money out of this fund and over here right now, you see the day is down, so you're going to lock it in, right? You want to lock that loss in, right? Yeah. That's not what I'm saying. Okay, do you believe that the market will go up at any point? Yeah, it'll go up. Oh, okay, what's your time horizon? I got about 10 years. Okay, within that time frame, you think the market's going to go up? Yeah. Okay, so do you still want to lock the loss in today? I'm gonna just have to call you back. So I had to methodically do that.
Right.
And there was one call I got one day. It was a down day, and this guy, he was a millionaire. He was like a millionaire from his pension alone. I mean, from his 401k alone. And he was, think about a sea of calls where everybody's emotions are high. He was the calmest person ever. He said, time to put some money in the market, Malcolm. So he was smart. So he had a portion of his money that he's contributing going into a short-term reserve, which means it's just a fund that basically invests in bonds and like short-term assets. So basically the price is stabilized. Your price is at $1. You're not going to fluctuate like those other funds that, have a group of stocks, right?
Right.
In them. So on a down day, like it was probably one of the biggest down days of the year, he was like, yep, I want to move. He's moving money out of that fund, out of that stable fund into those other stocks.
To the short term.
No, from the short term.
From the short term. Okay.
From the short term to the stocks that are down. And I kind of hit the after call button, and I thought about it, and I was like, that's completely different what I'm experiencing. And he just bought low. I was like, he just bought these low. So he's just buying the dip. Now these are things that people with a lot of YouTube, they caught up out there. So to your point, the algorithm's out there, the information is out there. And yeah, I just think they don't teach us that. And I don't. And okay, so they don't teach us that, but the information is out there, right? So
right,
you can
you have to want to go get it.
You have to want to go get it.
But you have to know that it's out there first, though, right?
You do have to know that it's out there, and yeah, that's the hard part. There's a gap there, right? When I left that company, and I moved from the financial sector into IT, but through healthcare initially. And I moved to Houston. It was like my first job out of the state, out of Arizona. And I had like 3 years, and I was like, I got 3 years of experience over here. I could like take advantage of this thing called the Certified Financial Planner and become one of those. So I pretty much did that. Took a Certified Financial Planner course. It was pretty much a 9-month program, accelerated.
Yeah.
down at Rice University, and that is when my mind was blown. I was like, "Oh, this is the information we should have learned. This is it."
Okay.
So
Okay.
most people, I was in a little different position. Most people were still within the industry and working towards that and getting their chops from that. For me, it wasn't like that. It was the whole time I'm like, how do I get the people the information? How do I get the people? I'm working on something, so I'm working on something to fill that gap. But you know, it's tricky in the time of AI, because AI can help you get the information, but like, how do you know you're asking the right questions? You know what I mean?
Right.
Because it is
Right.
it is garbage in, garbage out kind of thing with AI.
Yeah.
So if you don't know what to ask it, it's gonna spit out whatever you put in, right?
Right.
So and another point on AI is I notice a lot of people are relying heavily on AI, and I work with AI within my job function to this day. I'm still in IT, probably part of the software development life cycle. So we
Yeah.
develop software. More in a communication role, so coordination, that type of thing. Very technical, but not writing code, if you will.
Right.
So I could see people overly using AI, and then they have problems, especially with the code, because like you tell it the AI to do something and it does something else, and how do you check that? So it's to me, it's very important to not forego learning the knowledge, getting the foundations, and if you lend that to AI and you don't understand the principles of, let's say in this case, finance, then how do you know the AI is doing what it's supposed to do? You know what I mean?
Right.
How do you
Yeah.
know these things? You have no way of checking it, right? Like, so as AI progresses, it's probably more important that you, because I know they say courses go away, but I don't think courses should go away, in a sense of you should lock in that knowledge while you still can. Because
Right.
what these big companies, these are arguments within the space, with these big companies, they're shredding all the books and they're burning them. They're pretty much
Okay.
shredding them, uploading them, training their models, and then they're burning the books. All the bookstores, used bookstores, are closing down.
Right.
This is like, what if they just say, you know, they do all that and they raise the price? You know what I mean? A $20 subscription doesn't pay for AI's, the cost to run the AI today. It's all being front loaded. It's all being front loaded. Think about like when Amazon was first coming up, right?
Yep.
Jeff Bezos was asking the investors to be patient. Hey, be patient with me. I know I'm asking for a lot of money. I know I'm raising a lot of money. I know I'm coming back to you, but I'm building something. I'm building something big. Just wait on it, right? And we're not even talking about Amazon Web Services, because that didn't come into picture until later, but it did blow up and make them the powerhouse. He was focused on building Amazon Prime, the subscription model, right? Back then, the subscription model was the model everybody was trying to wrestle with and crack. But it was very difficult, because I remember trying to start a credit repair company at that time. But I was like, how are they going to pay me? And I remember like, if I got it right, ASP.NET was like the big payment processor, but they looked at those a credit repair company as like high risk. So it wasn't like you could just get a ASP.NET account and do your thing, right? And like charge subscriptions and all that. But little did I know, at the same time, there was a developer, probably a group of developers, I don't really know, but there was this little company that was going to change the world, and that was Stripe. They made payment processes online, and that's who a lot of these online companies run their payment processing through. So,
Really, through Stripe?
through Stripe. Yeah, so a lot of people who create a store or whatever, they're running that through Stripe, right?
Okay.
So ASP done that. But what the point I'm trying to get across is that the way Amazon did their investors is the same way that the people today, the AIs are the investors are just front loading the product right now, right?
Right.
It doesn't cost $20. If you're in the space and you know, okay, actually, it's more than 20. It's if you're running that through the APIs, it's expensive. It's expensive because it's they call it inference, and inference is how much it costs to host, right? It's on a server somewhere. I'm interacting with this model that's on the server. How much does that cost for the model to receive the message, process it, and send it back, right? How much that costs? That costs inference. Inference, and that's why they're trying to build out the data centers, and that's why the data centers are in the news a lot. I don't think personally, I don't think the way the U.S. is doing it. Because we got two examples right now. We got the way China's doing it and the way the U.S. is doing it.
Right.
Honestly, I think the way China's doing it is very competing. It's complete opposite of the way the U.S. is doing it, and one of them is going to win. And I just don't see the investment, and that's why you see we saw in the past 2 weeks or so. Investors like, wait a minute, I don't know if we're going to get our money back.
From building the data centers, the way they're investing in the process of building.
From funding this whole AI stuff. Like these investors are like before it gets to the market, right? When a company gets to the market, then these investors can sell their stocks and get their money back. Get their money back, yeah. Or just ride the wave until it goes up if they believe it'll still go up, right?
Right.
So that's like one of those things, and at the moment, it's up in the air because the way China's doing their stuff, and I know we're talking about finance, but it's all kind of connected. So I just wanted to say, like, I pay attention from an economic standpoint. We're kind of America, it's bad. It's bad. They've been able to, Trump specifically has been able to just say something, make a post or whatever, and change and manipulate the stock market. Right? We're seeing it with the Iran war. Iran caught on. They started issuing right before issuing statements right before that contradicts whatever they anticipated Trump was going to do, because he was manipulating the oil market.
Well, yeah, and manipulating it in a way that, not only was he making money, but his people, his team, his family, his cronies, his closest advisors, they all making money. I mean, it's classic insider trading type stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But we know that they're going to do that, right? That's what these politicians do, right? And they've been doing this kind of stuff for years. It doesn't matter where you land with this, but let's bring it back.
It's never been so open.
Oh no! It's definitely never been so open. They don't give a damn. They're like, what you gonna do about it? And at the moment, nothing, right?
Because they got all the power, right?
Right.
As the collective. As the people, as the collective, we allowed that.
Right.
Point blank. Period. We allowed that. So whether you voted, you didn't vote, you still allowed it, right?
Still allowed it. Yeah. So, I mean, I know nothing. Give me 1 second. Okay. Drop my coaster. My coaster from a drink. But anyway,
got to keep that on the table.
Can't mess up this beautiful wood on this desk. But anyway, And nothing can be done about that until until Democrats take power back, and two, they're willing to do something immediately and not try to slow walk and run and be like the video I seen the other day about I sent you too about everything's normal. We're back in power. Everything's good. We're gonna calm things down, but we ain't gonna do shit like they did when Biden got in office. They saw all the corruption. It wasn't even to the level that it is now, but they saw all that, got control back, and then laid on it. And then when they realized, oh, we better do something, it was too late because the election was coming and Trump could run out the clock. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, basically that's what happened, right?
Yeah. So that's the only way that any of this is going to be, a correction is going to be made, is they have to do something immediately the moment they take off.
It has to start with the will of the people. Like the people got I don't care what party. I'm really party agnostic if there was a landscape for that, right?
Yeah.
I don't care if you're a Republican. If you're a good leader and you beat out the other people, I'm going to vote for you. Like what Mondani's doing, they told us for years, they can't do this. They can't do that.
Can't do this.
They got it for them. When they say, hey, when it benefits the people or the city or the collective or, he's showing you it's so easy. They've been lying to you for decades, centuries, probably, right?
Centuries.
So,
when you see the poor getting poor, middle class moving out of the middle class into the poor class, and the rich are just getting richer and richer and richer, it can be done.
Exactly. Right.
And what we spend on other countries to prop up their governments and socialism and all that stuff in their country. But we say, we can't do it here, but we can do it everywhere else. So, that's all bullshit.
If you notice, just look at Trump's 2 terms, right? The first major legislation that they passed was tax breaks for the rich.
Yeah.
Every time, tax breaks for the rich.
Yep.
Okay, if y'all got the will and the know-how to do that, why can't we just do the opposite, right? But we'll need the people to put. See, they got to get out of these identity politics, and if you got to take a step. This is why I say in that last one, critical thinking is so important. You got to be able to be like, none of this is actually. You got to look at the scoreboard almost and be like, okay, I'm going to vote over here because what they did to Obama, everybody for the first 2 years, right? It was Democrat ran everything. And I don't think I don't think it's been like that since, right? Democrats haven't had Congress, the House, the Senate, and the executive branch, right?
Nope.
So right now, the Republicans got the Congress, the Senate, and the executive branch, right? So they're fully responsible for whatever's going on.
Everything.
For everything. And everyone who voted that way and put him in power, whether you got hoodwinked or not, you got hoodwinked.
Or didn't vote.
Or didn't vote, because that was big. That was a third. So a third of the population didn't vote. So it's almost like you kind of handed it to whoever was going to win at that point. And you had a lot of momentum on the Trump side, right?
Yep.
So you pretty much was going to hand it to Trump. And now I hope these people understand that it was a grave mistake.
They might understand now.
Yeah, 100%, because it's better to be participating in it than nothing else. And I know there's a lot of people that say, "Oh, let's just tear down the system." Okay, we are privileged here in this country. Mm-hmm. We're privileged, even though we do have instability. It's not like instability of a war-torn country.
Right.
It'll be centuries if that would ever happen. So your comfortability gone overnight. Yep. So that's not the most valuable option. The most valuable option is for you to participate, you to educate yourself, and really try to get out of the thinking of my party, because really these people are beholden to the corporations, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because-
And I think a lot more people are starting to see that, too.
Yeah.
Especially if you follow, like, APAC money and you see what politicians are getting APAC money and you see that it's in both parties. You're like, wait a minute, hold on. Like, that's just a small piece. And I don't want to just pick on APAC, but it's a huge piece, but that's a small piece of who's funding who.
Right.
And your loyalty lies with the person, don't bite the hand that feeds you. They're feeding you. They're not going to bite that hand, right? So that's the old adage. But let me bring it back to this real quick. So I asked that initial question a little bit back because one of the things that a lot of people are kind of wrestling with, especially people that we know, are, okay, I go out and I buy a house, I have a car, I work a job, I might have a 401k, you know what I mean? Most people don't have pensions, but there's a lot that you're dealing with, especially like the situation we're dealing with right now with the whole probate issue and all those things in our family, right?
Right.
How important is it to secure your assets and by doing it in a way of like having a trust or something like that? Like, is a trust really important, or would a will suffice? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So here's what I'll say. Anytime you go to court, right? I'm just kind of just back it up a little bit just so I can simplify. Anytime you go to court, let's say there's probate court, there's family court, there's criminal court. People could pull those documents, right? They can see, oh, your name attached to a court case. They might not be able to see inside the case. Maybe lawyers, they got that avenue with the docket and all that. But that's public information, right?
Right.
So with a will, it's very good to have a will, but you still are going to go through what they call probate court.
Right.
You still have, because anybody could, you have a will, yes, that's great. It's better than not having a will, right? That's step one. But it's still through the public process, right? A trust is a private process. So you're moving yourself and your assets out of the public process, having to go to court, file this probate case, them take their time. Because how long has it been? And this is a long time, right? So
it's been a while. It's been a long time since we started
trying
this
to
case.
get. Let's say they had some money tied up, and we needed to let's say, in certain cases, to bury you, right? They still gotta go through court, and that could at the earliest it could be 60 days. At the latest it could be years, right?
Yep.
Just depending on how tied up and how sure-proof your stuff was. But anybody can contest, right? Anybody that has any particular claim can contest, and the court don't know who's telling the truth for real. So they got to take that claim seriously. He said he was going to give me the house, or the houses are different, but let's say they had some silver somewhere in the safe deposit box. That's a little different. But like, let's say they had some silver at the house. That's an asset. He said he was going, now they got to fight. Now they got to go through the court process to figure out who's it going to go to. But if it's in a revocable trust, is probably the most common trust you need.
Revocable or irrevocable?
Those are the two types of trusts, right? If you look at trust as a category, there's revocable trust and there's irrevocable trust. Most people need revocable trust, right?
Meaning?
What it means is I'm going to put my assets in this trust, and so there's a death tax, what we call like a death tax. They call it, I'm blanking on the name right now.
It's a damn shame. Hold on a minute. Time out.
Talk about.
This nigga said a death tax. They tax you your whole entire life. They tax you on your wages. They tax you on your food. They tax you on your property. Yeah. They tax you to go to school. They tax, everything is taxed. And then when you die,
Then
They
you die.
tax you one last time. Huh?
Yeah, they call it a death tax, but that's like the slang
Crazy.
version. But it's really the estate tax, right? Like your estate.
All right. I
What
got
we're
you.
going through now, they're going estate tax, right? Their estate tax. So with the revocable, meaning it reverts, it comes back into your and is calculated in your estate tax. Right?
Okay.
So when you're married, all you have there's I think the threshold is like 13 million you can pass on to your spouse,
Okay.
where they don't tax. They'll tax that the state with your surviving spouse once she passed or he passed.
Okay.
Right. Now, if you're wealthy or you have like a business that you believe is like will be highly appreciating and you know it's gonna appreciate, that's when the revocable, you want to get that stuff out of your estate. So
Okay.
like let's say we had a business, and this business it makes a cool $1 million every year, but like the projection is going to be it's going to make 100 million, 200 million, 300 million, per year. That's a lot of taxes to be paying for income, or just even you want to get that out of your estate, because we could die at any point, right? So you don't want that to be calculated in your death estate tax, right? So
Right.
you want to get it out and get it in a revocable trust, right?
Okay.
So
So
there's
how
different
does a
types of
revocable-
trust. There's different like specifications. There's different clauses. There's a lot of
So,
lot
so
that
let's
goes into it.
let's hammer on the revocable then real quick. So you say get it out, get it in a revocable trust. What kind of protection is that giving you? Like, so who controls that? How do you touch the assets? How are you able to, if that's something that, let's say you want to live off of, you want to live off of the assets that's in the trust. How do you go about doing that? Because if I understand correctly, when you establish a trust and you put your assets in, you personally don't own them anymore. The trust owns them. But how do you access the assets from the trust to still be able to live? Let's say if you got life insurance or something like that.
Right. So what most people do is, let's say like what most people do, right? They buy a home, right?
Right.
And they want to put, like, when you buy a home, you got to go through a title company, right?
Correct.
To title the home in your name,
Yeah.
right? So when you create a trust and you have, let's say that's your biggest asset, right? Is the home.
Yeah.
And then you have the home insurance. You have a life insurance policy just in case something happened to you that would pay off that home, right?
Yeah.
That's going to be like the most basic setup that probably 90% of people are going to fall into, right?
Okay.
So if you want to avoid going through the court process, which is the public process, and there's a private process, you want to go through the private process, then you retitle the home into the trust name. You can still live in it. You can still, it's business as usual, but that's called funding the trust. So you can create the trust, but if you never move the assets in, and meaning if you title the put the trust on the title as owner, and most banks won't revert your loan. They know that it's done almost all the time. And then what you do with your life insurance policy is make the trust the beneficiary, right?
Okay.
So it's as far as like operating and living in the home, it's business as usual. It only gets a little bit more complicated when you're talking about irrevocable trust, that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
you retitle your home, basically put the trust on the title of your home. Basically, you don't own it anymore. The trust owns it. You still have your loan that you're responsible for, right?
Right.
You still got your mortgage,
right.
all that. But let's say you get into a financial situation where you can no longer pay your mortgage. Now the trust owns the home. How does the bank recover their funds or able to close on it or foreclose on it? They can still foreclose on that home
Yeah.
through you, but do they foreclose on the home with the trust as well?
Yeah. Yeah,
And that's
they'll
all
probably,
legal.
they'll probably make what'll probably happen is and what'll probably happen is they'll probably make you retitled into your name, and then they can take it that way, right? Those trusts
But
those trusts aren't like bulletproof. You can it could still it's just think of it as I'm protecting this and putting it in this entity for purposes of not having to go through a probate. Right?
probate process. Okay.
Yeah. The public
Because
I
a
don't
will
wanna-
can still be contested,
will can be contested.
and that would be setting up probate where a trust cannot be.
Right. It's just like if you go to a fork in the road, I'm gonna have to go through court on this one, and I'm gonna have to deal with that, or I'm gonna get my documents, my trust, which is just a document outlining everything, and then I'm gonna title everything to that while I'm living, and if I die, it's already spelled out how it should go. So there's nobody can contest it, right?
Right.
So
So, okay. So then my next question on that is this. So we know how we can put an asset into a trust based on your explanation. You know what you got to do as far as like retitling your home and all that kind of stuff. Let's talk about how you have some of these super wealthy families. Let's just pick on, the Rockefeller family, the Vanderbilts before they actually ended up losing all their money because they spent it all. Paul Getty and his family. So they have a trust, right?
right.
And there's a video that's circulating that keeps hitting my algorithm they talk about what's the waterfall method, where they have a trust, and then each family member is, I guess they're part of that trust. They come into that trust, but then each family member takes out a whole life insurance policy, and you can borrow from that life insurance because obviously you don't have an income, you don't own anything, so you're funding your way of living by borrowing money from those life insurance policies. And then when one of the family members, whoever passes away, their policy pays the death benefit back to the trust because the trust is the beneficiary of the life insurance policy. And it
Right.
keeps rolling the money. And with compound interest and all that kind of stuff, it grows over time. And that's how they stay wealthy and get wealthier and wealthier as generations pass.
Right.
Kind of simplify that
Right.
for me and people listening.
So those are you're probably this will move into like the irrevocable space, right?
Uh-huh.
And it's usually funded by those high appreciating businesses, right? These families had a business or a conglomerate of a collection of businesses that were highly appreciated, and they wanted to avoid that estate tax, that death tax at the end. So they're like, oh, okay, get it out. What Rockefeller did, that was what he kind of did and figured out, through a team of lawyers and all that and experts, was if he funds the life insurance of all the beneficiaries of this irrevocable trust,
Right.
they'll get them early, right? Life insurance is a game that you probably want to get early, right? The earlier the better. The longer you wait, the more expensive it is to get a policy.
Yeah.
Just because they know, okay, you die as you get older, so that's going to be more expensive. So let's say they're getting them at 5 years old, right?
Yep.
Every family is every family member would be a beneficiary, right? So at 5, you get a policy for life, and these are, you have term policies, and you have these
whole life
policies, and then you have like modifications of like derivatives of the whole life, right?
Right.
Where you can stack a cash value, right? portion of it, right? So once that cash value grows, and you can then loan from it. So let's say I have $1 million policy at the age of 5 by like 18. I'm just throwing numbers. It doesn't have to make sense. Let's say I have 300,000 I could take, right? I could borrow from. So I borrowed a 300,000 and I go and buy my house cash, right?
Okay.
If I die, that policy is that took it out in my name, owned by the trust, the same trust, is going to get paid to the trust minus whatever I didn't pay back, right? Minus that 300,000. So what Rockefeller did is he made sure in the trust policy, in the trust documents, that those proceeds that they just got. So like, what's the million? That's 700,000, right? 700,000.
Yeah.
It then goes to buy let's say I had children. Then they buy more policies for the next generation, and that's how it goes down, right? So it's always going to be minus what you already use or haven't paid back, but then they just kind of put that rule in there, because like you can be creative with trust, right? There's certain clauses that you need in there, spendthrift clause being one of them.
Right.
It just helps protect against creditors that may come after you in this space, as we're kind of
right.
noticing, right? And that's but you can be creative. You can say, okay, as a beneficiary, you can't touch any of this. You can't benefit from this money unless you have a degree, or unless you get a master's degree. There's things you can just
ways you can.
Yeah. You can't. Yeah, there's ways you can kind of safeguard your money, but like that's the waterfall effect, where this policy, once the person passes away, minus what the loan was if it wasn't paid back, goes back into the policy and then buys more policies for the next generation, and it just keeps going like that.
Okay.
Whereas like the Vanderbilts didn't have that stipulation, so you had the other generations. By the third generation, the money was gone, right?
Anderson Cooper and his cousins.
Oh, that's his.
Yeah, Anderson Cooper. He's a Vanderbilt.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, but they don't have the money.
We have a millionaire in our family. You know, we ain't got that money.
Yeah, and they didn't have no trust. She had no trust, so I think she let a son or a brother or somebody took all the bread.
It was her son.
It was her son, right?
Yeah.
Martha's had the hotel on Martha's Vineyard, I think, or somewhere like that. Something like that.
I don't know about that. You're going to have to educate me.
Yeah, there's a little more information I found out, but she was a millionaire, and money got snatched up by her son. And see where we are today.
I feel like
trying to get it back.
I feel like I was getting into the stock market and like getting into the AI, just to kind of paint a picture of like they're really risking, like AI is all the hype, but once you look into it, it's like, oh, things are it's either gonna work really well or it's gonna crash, right? It's gonna be a catalyst to crashing our economy. Our economy's on thin ice as it is. Even though the stock market is great, like I know the President Trump, he always points to the stock market anytime that anyone brings up a economic concern. But that's not. I think it's like 24% of the population is invested in the stock market. So
super low.
Let's just even say 40%. That's 60%.
Still not the reality of the other 60%.
It's 60% of the people in this hypothetical situation that's not in the market. So it's not indicative. And in the last couple of weeks, the bond market, the fixed income, basically it's loaning, right? The government needs to raise money, so they'll issue a loan, 10 or 30 years. They'll pay 5% or whatever the going rate is. They'll issue a loan of 6%, whatever, right? The interest rate, which is the monetary policy. There's two types of policies that dictate our economy, right? Our setup. There's monetary policy and there's fiscal policy. The government can spend and they can raise money through like bonds and things like that, right?
Right.
So that's what the Congress has, the power of the purse. They have the ability to spend. So through taxes, they collect the money and then they figure out what to do with it. And that's why that's why the debt is always high, right?
Yeah.
Almost always going up, right? Is because the government is exercising their fiscal policy. What they don't control is the monetary policy, right?
Yeah.
And the monetary policy is held through is controlled through the Federal Reserve. I don't think Jerome Powell is it Jerome Powell? I don't think he's there anymore.
Yeah.
Is
Nah,
he there?
I think he's done.
Yeah, he's done.
I think he's still on
advisor?
as like, I don't know if he's a governor or on the board. Yeah, he's on the board somehow. He's just not in control, I don't think, anymore.
Right. So basically when you hear the interest rate is going up or going down, they're talking about usually the federal funds rate. That's a rate that that the Federal Reserve sets and the banks could use to, or corporations can use to send money to each other short term, right? But that's the base rate. So think about like right now, I think it was in the 3s, right? So that's the base. So if the Federal Reserve, if the interest rate is at 3, this is the base. So this is how much companies at no cost, that's how much they can charge you, right? They can charge you that much, right?
Okay.
But let's say you want to buy a house or you want to buy a car or anything. Banks usually want to increase that, right?
Yeah, because that's how they're making their money.
They're making their money here. So it won't be 3, it'll be 5 or 6% at the minimum.
Yeah.
Right. And that's all set by fiscal policy. And there's other mechanisms. I'm not going to go into it, but there's other mechanisms that the Federal Reserve can do. And this, right, due to kind of dictate monetary policy. And they kind of have to. That's why the markets really pay attention to if the bond, if the Federal Reserve is going to change the interest rate. Right. And Trump is always like, make it zero, but like it'll mess up a lot of it.
Well, yeah, because you have that money that's already out there that they've allocated at say, a 6%. You go making it 0, that drops all that out, and they lose a lot of money in the market, and the market crashes, right?
So it more works like their decision can let's say they raise the interest rate, right? What we're saying. It makes everything more expensive, which means the banks are not going to lend like that. They're not going to freely lend. They're going to pull back their lending, which means and for the consumer it's more expensive, let's say, to get a car. It's like, I'm not going to spend that money. So it just makes it contracts the economy. And they can do expansion, like in COVID, right? They just brought that interest rate down to 0.
Yep.
Right. And then people got like 2%, 3% loans. You know what I mean? So those are the
beneficiary of it.
Yeah, those are the golden years, and
yeah,
that made people able to buy,
Spend money.
things like that. So that was expansionary measures that they did because it was dire situations for real.
Yeah.
But when you do that, you increase inflation.
Yep.
Right? The cost of everything goes up. As a lagging, you do it now, but like maybe in 3 months, the house. Just think about it, right? If they put the interest rate down to 0, more people can buy. The more people buy, the more they're going to push up the housing prices.
Yep.
That's
Well, it's supply and demand.
Yeah.
It's simple supply and demand.
Exactly. So these are the things that I think as Americans we need to kind of get down. And again, my stance, I like AI. I don't think it's an answer to everything. And I think it's highly important that we still educate ourselves and not forego that to something that's not proven. And it may work out. It may work out, but who knows?
Well, we got to be careful because if we solely rely on AI for everything, our brains are going to shrink. It's like use it or lose it. We'll have a evolutionary change in our thinking, like you said before, critical thinking. So brain's like, well, you're not even using this part no more because you're giving it all to the computer. I'm going to shut this down. Brain gonna get a little smaller. So don't use it for everything, people. Don't get too used to it. Before we cut, man, football season's beginning.
Oh yeah. You see them Ravens?
It's our year.
How about them Ravens? You see that?
How about them Cowboys?
3 points.
How about them Cowboys?
If anything,
our year, buddy.
this is your year because
I ain't saying it though. I'm just messing. I ain't saying that shit.
I'm saying it because of the conversation you and I had. Basically, like Jerry Jones is taking a step back.
He's hands off.
So
He's stepping back.
Jerry, this
letting
might be
loose.
the one. This might be the one. You can get your ring
And they actually went out. He actually went out and did some real things. He did some good things. Cowboys did some good things in the draft. They actually shored up their defense, and they got a hell of a defensive coordinator. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, they still got to play the game, and people still got to stay healthy. Because with the Cowboys, if it can go wrong, it will. That's just been their curse.
Man, you got to change your thinking.
Hold on. But I'm always thinking this is our year.
I knew it.
Because one of these years, it's going to hit, baby, and I'm going to be right.
50 years in, still making the same bet.
Hey, it's
The down
hopefully
year.
the last one I make,
our
when it
year.
does hit, it's a big one. It's the
Yeah.
big one.
Hey, if we see each other in Brazil, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I try. I'm not that rich. I can't go to that. But,
we tried, but yeah.
like,
It would have been a
prices,
nice
it was
experience, but it was
yeah.
too pricey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe if I had like a sugar mama, I'm just playing. But what I
Get
will
you
say,
one. You never know.
what I will say, if we meet it in the playoffs, if we meet in the Super Bowl, if we meet in the Super Bowl, obviously you got to be stupid rich to go to the Super Bowl, but I would like that. I would like to see that game.
Oh, if Ravens and Cowboys met in the Super Bowl, we're in the building. Trust me.
No, we not. Like maybe.
Yeah, we will
You know
be.
how much a Super Bowl ticket is?
Bro, we can make it happen.
How?
We got ways.
Oh, okay. You got ways. You
Yeah,
got
we
ways.
got ways.
Yeah, you got. I don't got no ways.
Yeah, if that happened, yeah, it would have to. We would have to make it happen.
Yeah.
So, or get on a radio contest and win some tickets.
Exhaust every option.
Exhaust every option. Yeah,
Somebody got giveaway tickets.
yeah.
Do you know where the Super Bowl is this year?
I don't. To be completely honest with you, I think wasn't it in San Francisco last year? Was it in San Francisco or was it in Vegas? Where was it? I don't even know where.
I think it was in San Fran. I think it's San Fran.
I think it's moving either down to Vegas
Inglewood
or
California.
SoFi.
SoFi.
SoFi. Okay, I knew it was somewhere on the west.
Inglewood. Yeah, you know, it's all good every day. Inglewood.
Yup.
Inglewood. That's going to be crazy.
It's gonna be wild.
It's going to be wild. We can go out there and just be, you know, like the World Cup and the Super Bowl, you could just be in the city.
Oh yeah, when it was in Arizona, just in the vicinity. It wasn't even in the stadium. It was a vibe.
Yeah.
Straight vibe. So
When it was
yeah,
in
we could
Arizona, I
definitely do
stayed in because I was like, I can't deal with this traffic.
Huh.
But yeah.
All right, bro.
All right.
I'm gonna wrap it. I'm gonna wrap it with this though.
All right.
Hold on, check this out.
She's quick. Look out for a pretty little thing named Natalie. If you see her, stand
Nephew,
Good
it was a
Lord.
good one.
Yeah.
It's the Unk Phew podcast.
I'll give you podcast. Peace.
It's the Unk Phew podcast.